Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time you are at. We are back with another episode of the Real Wrestling Show dash blog. Weekly episodely show that we do about AEW, talking through Dynamite, talking about through Rampage, and any specials that AEW have got at the moment. They haven't, but we have some coming up. Wembley, baby! Dawsy's not with us at the moment, so it's just me, Mr. Big Z, the bald bastard, running through this stuff that we do on a weekly basis. So, yeah, I'm going to run through it, Dynamite, and then I'm going to run through Rampage. Dorsey at the moment is a little under the weather, so wish him the best. Wish him, get well, you motherfucker. So, yeah, running through Dynamite. Started off with the promo. We had Wardlow calling out Christian. Cage goes to spit at Wardlow, and then he grabs him. Luchasaurus then attacks. Lobo by Christian, then a beatdown. Ladder on at Wardlow was pretty terrible. His hands were up like there. They weren't even like on his head, so looked pretty bad. Chokeslam through the ladder, and then an unprettier on the ladder, or the switchblade, or the kill switch. Probably one of the weaker promos that they've started out the show with. Normally it's pretty fire opener, but yeah, this one was a little bit weak. Next up we had Orange and Darby versus Moriarty and Big Bill. Great match this was. Back and forth pins, 1 counts early on. A biggish type, it was like a boss man slam release type thing. It wasn't the boss man slam that he did later on by Bill. That was quite nice. Lee into Bill first, and then double dives by Orange Cassidy and Darby. Bill taunting, which he's been doing weekly, and he sells it pretty well, fair play. Tag disallowed by the ref when Darby goes to tag. Darby then makes a tag, does some running splashes in the corner, and then Bill hits the boss man slam, which was very cool. Sick backpack facebuster into a cross face was sick by Moriarty. Double superplex by Orange and Darby. Code red to Big Bill by Darby was sick. Beach break by Orange Cassidy, coffin drop, and a side headlock takedown pin for the finish by Darby, whilst Orange punches, I think it was Big Bill off the apron. So yeah, it was a good match this was. I give Bill the man of the match because I thought he was pretty entertaining. I think that's the first time I've given him the man of the match, and I had 6 moments. Next up we had a promo, Alex backstage, the Bucks walking in, and he's like, oh, what do you think about last week? And then they're surrounded by the BCC. They say, we ain't got time for fighting. Chuck suitcases, bit of a scrap went on. Bucks get chucked into the car, and Mox basically says, we're the true elite in AEW. Which some could argue that they are, but I think the elite are the elite in AEW. Next up, we had a promo with Renee backstage, catching up with Wardlow after Christian and Luchasaurus' beatdown. When Al Anderson, he says, I should have been out there. He says, no, you shouldn't have. That's why I didn't want you to be out there. He says, what have you got in you? What you got to do what it takes. He says, all right, then I'll challenge him to a ladder match, which Christian now in a ladder match, yeah, he's that's what he's synonymous for, but he's a bit older now in his career. Do we really want to see him in a ladder match? I'm not sure. Next up, we had Renee backstage with Orange Cassidy. Says that he'll fight everyone. Just go and see Tony Khan. Nice little promo, nonchalant by Orange Cassidy. Next up, we had Sammy G versus Exodus Prime, who we believe has wrestled in AEW before. But maybe in the pandemic times, I'm not sure. I'd have to check back. Pretty much a squash match. Sammy G man of the match. Go to the hospital. Finish. A bit bunk. After the match, he says he's going to be the next champion with a lot of other wording. Then we had an in-ring promo by Tony Schiavone, Double J, Lethal, Sanjay, and Satnam to the ring. FDR push Satnam off the stage and then attack Lethal and Jarrett. Lethal over the table. Jeff Jarrett into a post. Karen Angle, Jarrett comes out. It's a low blow. Satnam double choke slam to FDR, guitars to FDR's heads. Look pretty hefty to Dax. But yeah, pretty good that was. Next up in a promo backstage with Renee, Darby says the headlock was a message to MJF. Sammy G then interrupts and says, look, I'm not going to lay down for MJF. Basically, somebody needs to beat that prick. So yeah, there's all this 3-man mutual agreement going on against MJF, but probably when it comes to the match, they're all just going to go their own separate ways and try and fuck everybody over. So that's not a problem, like. I dribbled my cooler. Next up, we had a match, which was Tony and Ruby versus Shida and Britt Baker. It was an okay match, this was. I quite like Ruby's new look. She actually looks like a wrestler, not a non-wrestler, like she usually does. And Shida's also got new gear, which I don't like the fact that she hasn't got that fluffy, tassely bit that's normally around her leg. That's, for me, that's quite like a Shida patent type thing. But getting into the match, the Outcast attack on the bell. Saraya grabs a leg, proper terrible spot, not good at all. Britt waiting for the ass attack on the apron, which is what the slow bit was. She just kind of sat there and just waited for Tony to hit her. Then Saraya attacks again. She did elbows to Ruby, was quite brutal. Crossbody to the outside to everyone by Shida. Falcon out by Shida, 2 count. Terrible Meteora by Shida, but I think that was more Ruby's fault. She fell backwards a bit too early. Tony DDT to Ruby with Britt neck breaker. Oh yeah, it was like a move to your partner done by the other person. Ruby fall over kick, which is what it should be called, because fucking crap. Air raid. And a stomp by Britt Baker. Saraya, distraction. Spray by Tony. Storm Zero for the finish of the match. I went with Shida man of the match and I give it 4 moments. So yeah, it was an okay match, that one. But a lot of interference by Saraya. Just not feeling it at the moment. She seems very desperate. Like. Next up, we had a promo backstage with Renee. Orange Cassidy is told that 20 guys went to see Tony Khan. And he says, oh well, never mind, let's make it a battle royale. Make a 21 man, that's in Blackjack and in Vegas. Boom, job done. I'll be 21. Renee, do you want to be in it? No, cool. Then we had Tony Khan says that Collision will be on Saturdays, debuting on the 17th of June, and the dates and everything like that. By all accounts, they haven't had great ticket sales. It'd be nice if they did, because watching a Collision show on television and translating with no crowds is very, very difficult, even though the pandemic happened. Next up, we had a promo. No, we didn't. We had a match, which was Roderick Strong versus Jericho in a Falls Count Anywhere. I will note early now, during the match, it was announced that Billy Graham has passed away, which R.I.P. to superstar Billy Graham. And, condolences to the family. But in this match, Strong attacked Jericho with a jacket still on early on, back and forth chops. They were quite nice. Face buster by Strong. Backdrop on the apron by Strong. Gets 2 count when he falls off onto the outside. That was pretty cool. Jericho throws the belt. I'm not sure what that is. Roderick Strong. Boston by Jericho. Rope break. Roderick Strong gets chucked into the steps, fighting in the crowd, up the steps, out to the concourse. Pinfall on a stairwell. That was quite cool. Strong through a table, and Jericho gets a 2 count. Backdrop onto the counter. A stanchion to Strong, which is one of those guardrail things. Strong ears bleeding. Not sure where that come from. Cream all over Jericho's face and Roderick Strong. What the fuck? Ear bleeding. Something on the outside. They go to the outside of the building. Adam Cole attacks. Jumping knee. Roderick Strong finishes. And that was the end of the match. It was pretty good. I went with Jericho man of the match. I think he ran the match pretty well. And 4 moments. So, yeah. Falls count anywhere. Next up, we had Roosh versus Jungle Boy. I don't know why the way they're using Roosh. I don't understand why they're using him the way he is, because he has got an awesome character to him, unless they're just waiting out the storylines until Collisions come up and then they can put the storylines there. I don't know. But yeah, Roosh vs Jungle Boy. Okay match this was. Jungle Boy clothesline, choked out the ring, choke clothesline out. Jungle Boy heavy into the guardrails. At one point he was holding his shoulder, looking pretty bad. Jungle Boy is bleeding. Jungle Boy over the guardrail. Jungle Boy into the chair. Jose chokes Jungle Boy. Ref does nothing, which I don't understand because he clearly seen it. He should have ejected him even if he wasn't supposed to see it. Or at least warn him. Roosh no sells the spring back lariat by Jungle Boy, and Jungle Boy looks pretty fucked. Super Hurricane by Jericho. Snare trap by Jungle Boy. Rope break. Overhead belly to belly off the apron. Almost kills Jungle Boy by Roosh. Look pretty good. I give it a moment though. Roosh pushes the ref. Roll up by Jungle Boy, grabbing the tights. And that, I believe, was the finish of the match. So Jungle Boy wins. I went with Roosh man of the match. And I give it 3 moments. After the match, Preston attacks, Darby makes a save, and Sammy G comes on to make the save as well. So yeah, something setting up for next week's Dynamite, maybe Rampage. Next up, we had a promo backstage with Renee. MJF just basically slaps the mic out of her hand when she asks him like what he thinks about the developing situation. So yeah, that wasn't supposed to happen, by the way. Apparently, from what I read, there was another segment that was supposed to happen, but I don't know the full details. Then we had Tony Storm calling out Hater for the title shot, which that could be good, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Then we had the main event, I believe. Yes, well, it was. It was a main event match, but then there was something after, being Don Callis. And we had Jay White versus Ricky Starks. An okay match this was. Jay evading Starks early on, just keeps climbing out the ring. Dragon screw by Jay was nice. Jay over the balcony sidewalk slam. What the fuck? Or overbalancing the sidewalk slam, but still managed to pull it off, land it safely. So yeah, that was alright. 1 count there. Gut wrench submission by Jay. Overhead belly by Roderick Strong. What the fuck? By Ricky Starks. Swinging DDT by Starks gets 2 count. Uranagi by Jay looked good. It was almost like it was a Uranagi, but it was like a drag over one. Ricky Starks dumped out the ring. Swinging neckbreaker by Ricky Starks. Scoop suplex by Ricky Starks. That's one he's been using quite regular now, and it's looking good. He's perfecting it quite well. Starks into the chair. Stark uses a chair on Juice, and Jay gets a disqualification. Basically sits in the ring and like, yeah, and what? Yeah, and what? If you two pricks are going to play that game, I'm going to play my game. So yeah, nice from Ricky Starks there. I went with Starks man of the match, and I give it 4 moments. But it is worth noting, I did give Jay man of the match early on, but then I changed it to Starks. Next up then we had the main part of the main event promo, which was Don Callis in the ring, rattles off why he's the biggest part of Kenny Omega's career. Says without me, Omega would be nothing. Omega comes out, BCC attack, backstage, the Bucks come out, and then Hangman comes out, declares that they are the Elite, and then says we want BCC versus Elite in Anarchy and the Arena match. Which I think will be the 2nd or 3rd one, possibly. So yeah, that should be pretty good. Overall, it was an okay show. It wasn't the best. It wasn't the best outing from AEW this week. But we still got Rampage to go through, which I shall go through now. So going on Rampage. First of all, we had Best Friends and Bandido versus the BCC. It was a pretty good match, this was. Big suplex by Claudio to Chucky. After suplexing a few others and being unsuccessful. 3 Germans by Trent to a no-selling Mox. That was nice. Trio dive by Best Friends and Bandido. European to a diving Trent. Nice while saving Mox. That was quite nice. Swinging DDT by Trent. Tornio, Hurricanrana pin by Bandido. They were all sick. All look really, really good. Suplex and then a half soul food by Best Friends and Bandido as a trio moveset. Spike pile driver by Chuck. Seatbelt by Chucky gets 2 count on Yuta Wheeler stealing his move, or did he train him? That's what they said. Mox, it's a DDT, even though it's supposed to be the Paradigm Rider, or whatever the fuck it's called these days. It's a DDT. And an assisted long dart by Claudio to Yuta for the finish of the match. But like I said, it was a pretty great match. There was a lot going on. Spirit of it was quite high. Bandido man of the match, and I give it 6 moments. But pretty good for an opener. We like good openers. Next up, we had a promo video with Kyle Fletcher says that he's now the international champion because of all the titles that he got. He deserves it. The video package that they played on him was pretty decent. Certainly made him look very Will Ospreay-esque. Next up, we had Jade versus Danny B in a squash match ×2. Potentially a 3, but it didn't end up being a German plus pump kick for the finish of the match for Danny B. Then after the match, Mark says that's the best Texas got. Then another opponent comes out. Didn't quite catch her name. Spear, then a titty buster for the finish of the match. Then another opponent comes out. She gets knocked out by Taya, who then comes out and then hits Jade with the titty boom. Wonderful stuff. Just do away with Jade already. Next up, we had the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn versus the Athletes. It was a good match. I didn't give it any moments. I give it only one moment. What's I say there? Something shoulder barges across the ring by Billy. I don't know. Billy and Nice showing off their bodies halfway through, and all that. Sesame Timber, side effect by Max Caster, Leaping Famouser by Bowens, Woods by what the hell? Oh yeah, Woods. That's what I said. Woods shoulder barges across the ring by Billy. Woods into the guardrail. Nice spinning neckbreaker was nice. Arrival mic drop for the finish of the match. Like I said, it was a good match. Billy man of the match. Pretty good crowd in this one. They really got behind the Acclaim to the point that Anthony Bowens was like kind of fanboying out, I think. Next up, we had a promo from QTV. Did you hack Matt Hardy? Which is something that happened in real life by all accounts, and they put some nasty shit up on Twitter and some other stuff. No point in it, like you're just a fucking wanker. Blackjack Battle Royal International title, says the QTV's group are in it. Will Hobbs is in it, I think. And then they mention about Hobbs being on the banner of Collision for June 17th. Then we had a promo from the Hardy Party. Talk about the Ass Boys and the Ego. Says if they lose the match, then they'll own the contract of Ego if they lose. Ego then comes out and forces Isaiah to shake his hand, saying that, without him, they wouldn't have been nothing. Ass Boys attack from behind, chair around Isaiah's neck, and then they jump off the corner and pretend to snap it. Then we had... That's alright. Then we had a promo, which is Jericho on camera, addresses Adam Cole, says that he's a coward. Adam Cole's outside, said he's going to beat you up every week unless you sort something out. Jericho says that the legal agreement is now null and void because I challenge you at Vegas. Rips up the contract. Cole then heads into the arena, which he would have. And I thought that Jericho was going to go, haha, I faked it. You're now getting sued. Adam Cole, Jericho fighting on the ramp. And that was about it. Gets broken up and they go the separate ways. And Adam Cole's does like a really, really over long dramatic pause. And then goes to the back. Then we had some Dustin hype for his match, which was Bishop Khan versus Dustin in what was a bit of a letdown main event. I get why it was the main event because the home crowd loved it, but for me it just didn't quite have that je ne sais quoi that main events have. Khan attacks on the outside of the ring. I'm not sure. Dustin then cuts his head open like he does when he gets chucked into the camera. Neckbreaker off the apron by Khan. Code Red gets a 2 count for Dustin. Terrible pile driver by Dustin. Bulldog, final reckoning for the finish of the match. I went with Khan man of the match, which I think was supposed to be the point. After the match, Brian Cage attacks and Swerve comes out as well. Keith Lee makes a save. F5 onto the chair to Keith Lee. Double stomp to Keith Lee in the chairs. And that was all she wrote. It was a pretty good show. But overall, this week it went down again. Last week was absolutely amazing. This week, just a little bit lazy, maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe that's the wrong word. But that's all I've got. I've got no news on anything this week because I think there's been a bit hectic and shit. But thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. Anybody that has helped us do this blog, thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, and share, and hit the bell, and whatever. Check out all of our other stuff, the Greenhouse, merchandise memoirs. We'll be doing a couple of other videos probably in a a couple of months' time when we go to Wembley. So I've been Big Z. Thank you for watching. Catch you next week.